Now here, if we see, if you want to find out number of loop present in the particular block diagram, the general concept of loop is what? So here you can see this is one loop. Okay, so this is one loop I can say. So here the signal is starting from this summing junction and is traversing like this. Whatever I am showing, it is visible. Means whatever I am denoting, is this cursor visible? Whatever I am moving.
Yes, sir.
All right. So as a signal propagates through these blocks, here you can see at this point, at this takeoff point, we have taken the feedback of that signal, okay, and we have added to this summing junction, okay. So here we have started from this summing point, we are traversing, and again we fed back that to this summing point. Means we started at this node and ended at this node. So this is called as a loop. Okay, this thing is called as a loop. So in this there is a one loop. Okay, but inside the loop, can anyone tell me how we can reduce the loop into single block? What are the conditions for that? Anyone? Now here you can see there is one takeoff point here, right? So we can't reduce this block diagram, this closed loop into single block, right? So for that purpose, we need to shift this takeoff point to this side, right? At this side. So here, the first conversion will be shifting of this takeoff point to this place. So that after shifting this point to this location, we can able to reduce this particular loop. Okay, so if I draw a block diagram of this, just a minute, it's taking some time. Okay, so I will just shift this block to this side. So here, if I shift this block after this block, if I shift this takeoff point after this block, what will be the change in the gain here? Can anyone tell me? What will be the change in the gain? As we have seen in rules, right? So if I shift this point after this block, so what will be the change in the gain of this block?
It will multiplied by G2.
No. How it will be multiplied by G2? Okay. So here we see. Huh? Here we will see the rule here first. Okay. It's taking a time. Just a minute, it is somewhat okay. So when you shift this point to this location, it will be get divided by G2. What's the okay, so after shifting, that will be get divided by G2. Because before this takeoff point, there was no G2 block, right? So when we move to after this block, that takeoff point, when we move after this block, that G2 should be get divided, right? So here, if I so here that block will be like G1 by G2, okay? Right? So we shifted this. So we have divided that particular block by the gain of this block, that shifting. Now you tell me what will be the block diagram reduction technique can we apply here? Okay, what will be the resultant block here for this particular block? So this is 1, right? When they don't mention anything there. So this is 1 and this is G1 upon G2, right? So what will be the overall block reduction technique here for
So
this
they are in
block?
parallel, so they get add with 1.
Yes, they are in parallel, so we can add them. So that equivalent block will be G1 upon G2 plus 1, right? Okay. And now the other things are like same. G2 H1 okay. So R and C. So this is a negative feedback loop, right? So what will be the block diagram reduction for this? The forward path gain. So so this is what? Negative feedback loop or negative closed loop. Okay. And this was the parallel loop. So now this is a negative closed loop. So that will get reduced to forward path gain upon 1 plus loop gain G2 into H1, right? G2 into H1. So this block is get reduced to this. Okay. Now these two blocks are in cascade. So what will be the resultant gain of the block when we connect two blocks in cascade? If we make that into single block,
Product of two blocks.
yes. So this will be the product of two blocks. So if I just simplify it, okay, G1 plus G2, this will be G2, G2 cancel. So here in this case transfer function will be G1 plus G2 upon 1 plus G2 into H1. Okay, so that will be the transfer function. So only two techniques we have applied. First, we have shifted this takeoff point after the block so that we can reduce this particular closed loop. Okay, after shifting that block, we came to know that this block and this particular overall block will be in parallel. Okay, so we have done the parallel reduction. We have used the parallel block reduction technique. So that is the equivalent gain for that. And after that, we have reduced the closed loop and then cascade combination of these two. Okay. So like this way, we have applied the block diagram reduction technique to find out the transfer function of this block diagram. Okay. Any doubt in this? If anyone has any doubt, they can ask. Otherwise, we can proceed. Okay. Those who are new, they just refer the previous videos. Okay. So in those, I have explained the block diagram reduction techniques. Just or if you found any difficulty, you can ask me. Now, let us consider the problem number 5. In this also we need to find out the transfer function of the system shown. So how many loops are there in this particular block diagram? How many loops are there?
2.
How?
Sir, 1.
So what will be the first technique we will apply to reduce this block? What do you think? Anyone?
So first we will resolve the inner loop, then outer loop.
So which one is the inner loop and which one is the outer loop?
The one with the feedback H1 is inner loop.
But how you can, as there is a rule now, when you reduce the inner loop, when there is a no takeoff point and summing element inside the loop. Okay, so here there is a takeoff point and here there is a summing point. How can you reduce the inner loop then? Okay, when the closed loop inner loop get reduced in such a condition, right? There is no inside takeoff point or summing point. Only one summing point is there, like this way. The signal is starting from this summing junction and ending at that point only. So that is a simple loop. So in this case, if you consider this particular loop here, so there is one takeoff point and there is one summing point. So you can't reduce directly like that. Now you tell me, if I consider this block and this block, what will be the combination of these two blocks? Means, are they in cascade or are they in parallel? If you consider this and this one, this block and this.
Sir, we can't see your cursor.
Okay. What will be the there is no cursor like option here. So I will just I am asking about this and this block, the G1, yeah, so G and H1. So these two paths, are they in parallel or cascade? Which kind of configuration they are having?
Parallel.
So first reduce this parallel block, right? So these two are in parallel. Okay. So what will be the resultant block then? Gain G plus H1, right? That will be the resultant block gain. Now you can reduce this inner loop, right? So you tell me what will be the resultant block gain here if we reduce this closed loop negative feedback. So first, the forward path gain, right? As we have seen, if there is the closed loop like this, okay, right, negative feedback. So what will be the total resultant block or transfer function of this block? The forward path gain. So this is a forward path, right? And this is a feedback path. So the forward path gain, what is the forward path gain? G divided by 1 plus. Why we have taken plus? Because there is a negative feedback. We are subtracting the feedback output from the reference input, right? When we are adding the feedback output into the reference input, at that time the feedback will be positive, and at that time we can take negative here. Okay, so opposite sign here we have to take. 1 plus loop gain. What is the loop gain? Feedback output upon error. Okay, whatever the error we are getting, we are giving to this particular block. So that will be G into H. So in this case, if we consider this feedback loop or negative feedback loop, so this will G plus H1 will be the forward path gain. Then there is a negative feedback, so 1 plus G plus H1 forward path gain into feedback path gain. What is the feedback path gain here? H2. Okay, so this will be the reduced block for this particular closed loop. Okay, so like this way you can reduce the block diagrams. So here in this case transfer function will be this one, C of S upon R of S into G plus H1 1 plus G, sorry, 1 plus G into H2 plus H1 into H2. Okay. So this will be the transfer function of this particular block diagram. Okay. So any doubt in this case? Any doubt in this problem? So can we proceed? Anyone? If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Okay.
No doubt, sir.
Okay. So let us move to the next problem. So here we need to find out the transfer function of this system. So how to reduce this particular, how many loops are there? You just tell me in this particular block diagram.
Two loops.
Yes, this one and this one. So which one will you reduce first?
Parallel one.
G2, G5.
G5.
That is not a parallel. What is a parallel? Parallel means same direction they are going. Now signals are going in the same direction here. Signals are going in the same direction. It is a loop, right? What is the difference between loop and parallel conditions? In loop, signal is starting from this summing junction and ending at that node only. Okay, like a feedback. Okay, so that is a loop. So this is the first. So if we say this is L1 and this is L2. Okay, the reverse direction, right? L2. Now you tell me. So you will reduce L2 first, right? So this is. So is this positive feedback or negative feedback here?
Positive.
Yes, we are adding the feedback output into the reference input, right? So here positive sign is there. So this is a positive feedback loop. So now you tell me what will be the resultant combination, resultant gain for this particular block. Tell me. Anyone?
5 upon 1 minus G5, G2.
First what? In numerator what gain is there?
G5.
No. Now you tell
Sir,
me.
G2 upon 1 minus G2, G5.
Right. Here, if we consider this particular block, the forward path is what? This one, G2. Signal is propagating to the output side, on the right side. Marker is not there in this particular app. Okay. So here if you see, the signal is propagating to this side, okay, on the right hand side. So this will be the forward path and this will be the feedback path. So forward path element gain is G2 and feedback path element gain is G5. Okay. So if you reduce this particular block, the reduced block gain will be forward path gain 1 minus G2 into G5. That is a loop gain, right? And we are using a minus term here because positive feedback is there. Okay. So I just reduce this particular diagram. So here I will start. Right. Okay, so now you can reduce this particular block, right? This one. So which kind of feedback is there, positive or negative?
Negative.
Okay, so just make a space here. Just wait. Okay, so okay, so in this, the forward path gain is, now these two blocks are in cascade, right? So you can multiply their gain directly. Okay, so the forward path gain will be the multiplication of these two gains, and this is a feedback path. So this is a feedback path. So feedback path gain will be G4 in this case, right? Okay, so if I say this, if I find out the transfer function of this particular block, or the reduced gain of this particular block, so that will be like G1 into G2 divided by 1 minus G2 into G5. Okay, so that is the forward path gain. Now here negative feedback we are using, so 1 plus this forward path gain, into this feedback path gain. Okay, so forward path gain is G1 into G2 1 minus G2 into G5 1 minus G2 into G5 into G4. Okay, so if I reduce this, that will be 1 minus G2 into G5 plus G1, G2 and G4. Okay, so this will be the overall gain of this reduced block, or this closed loop negative feedback. Now, so if I draw that particular block, so that will be like G5, G1, G2 to G4. Okay, so this is a reduced block. So input is R of S for that. And the next block is G3, right? So that is in cascade with this particular combination. Okay, so G3 C of S. Okay, now the overall block reduction will be the multiplication of these two, because these two blocks are in cascade. Gain, overall gain will be the multiplication of these two. 1 minus G2 into G5 plus G1, G2, G4. Okay, so R of S to C of S. Okay, so this is the final answer for this particular block diagram transfer function. Okay, so this is the transfer function of the particular block diagram. Okay, so any doubt is there? I think no doubt is there. If any doubt is there, you can ask me. Okay, so let us move to the next problem. So now in this block, how many loops are there?
3.
Okay, how many inner loops are there?
2.
Okay, can you reduce those inner loop directly? Can you reduce those inner loop directly, or do you need to apply some techniques to shift points or summing point like that way?
No, sir, directly.
Okay, so directly you can apply. So now all of you just solve it. Okay, so this is a loop 1. So starting from this summing junction, ending at that only. So for this particular loop 1, the forward path gain will be G1 of S, and the reverse path gain or feedback path gain will be the H1 of S. This is a loop 2. Okay, so after reducing these two loops, you can go for this third loop. Okay, so that is outside. Okay, so these two are the inner loop. And tell me the transfer function. You can comment the transfer function in the chat box. Okay, just solve it now. And comment the transfer function in chat box. In the GATE exam, they asked this block diagram related problem. Okay, so generally in competitive exam, you can directly, I will show you what will be the shortcut for that. But in the descriptive exam, you need to solve all these steps. Okay. Okay, Abhay has posted his answer. Okay, Isha also posted. Harsh. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so good effort. Three members has posted it. So here I will just show you. So if you see this particular block, so for this reduction will be G1 upon 1 plus G1 into H1, right? For this particular block, reduction will be G2 upon 1 plus G2 into H2, right? Now these two blocks are in cascade, right? So you can just multiply it. So the overall combination, so these two are in cascade, right? You can just multiply it and find out the overall block. So that will be like G1 upon 1 plus G1 into H1. And this is what? G2 upon 1 plus G2 into H2. G2 upon 1 plus G2 into H2. Yeah. Okay. So here, again there will be the inner loop. Oh, again there will be the loop. That will be C of S, R of S plus and H2 of S will be the okay. Now you can solve it. So answer is, if I solve this, C upon R will be G1, G2. Just move the space here. That would be C upon R would be G1 into G2, 1 plus G1 into H1, 1 plus G2 into H2, plus G1, G2, H2. Okay. So is this correct? Have you got the same answer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So good. So now let us see this problem number 8. So in this problem number, most of the students are replied, okay, good work. Yeah. So let us consider this problem now. In this particular problem, now you tell me what is the difference that we have observed in the previous problems and this problem, this particular problem. What difference you observe here? Okay, so in this particular block diagram or the system, here you can see two inputs are there, right? R of S and D of S. Okay, and they ask us to calculate the output response of the system. Okay, now if you see here, there are two inputs and one output is there. Okay, we need to find out the output response of the system for these two inputs. Okay, so what technique you can apply here? Any guess? What technique do you think that we should apply here?
Moving the summing point before the block.
But moving the summing point before the block, what will happen? That will be inside the loop only, na? Right? Even if you move this summing point at this point, if you move this summing point at this point, that will be inside the loop only. Okay. So as we know, in circuit theory, what we do, if there are two voltage sources or one voltage source or one current source, and if you want to find out the current through the particular branch or voltage across the particular branch, which theorem do you apply there? In circuit theory, you apply superposition, right? At a time you only apply one input and you find out the output. Okay, so in this method also we need to find out the output response of the system. Means for these two input, what will be the output of the system? This C of S we need to find out. So I will apply the superposition theorem here. So superposition theorem can be applied. So first what I will do, first I will make D of S. So this particular input 0. So first I will make D of S is equal to 0. So I am making D of S is equal to 0, right? So when I make a D of S is equal to 0, this particular summing point will not have any effect because we are adding this particular output with this particular 0. Okay, so we can remove that particular summing point, right? It is giving the signal as it is. So if I draw the block diagram again for this particular, here D of S, this is a D of S. Okay, so you can remove that particular summing point, and I will just okay. So what will be the output response for RFS? Tell me. Here only we will write. So what is the C of S? What is the C of S upon R of S? You tell me that thing. Okay. What is the C of S upon R of S for this particular block?
G1, G2 upon 1 plus H into G1, G2.
Good. Okay. So C of S will be G1 into G2, 1 plus G1 into G2 into H into R of S. Okay. So this is due to R of S. Okay. So next time what we will do? We will make another input source 0, that is R of S we will make 0, and we will apply D of S.